YouTube. Welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I'm going to kind of show what I got going on. Yesterday we went and got my riding mower. It's in pretty rough shape. I'm hoping that my tires and wheels will fit on it. I have a brand new battery for it, and we took that off of the Craftsman. We took the wheels and tires off of the Craftsman before I left. I wish I'd have got the seat off of it, but I wasn't thinking, because this one's in pretty rough shape, needs a new seat. But anyway, we're going to show you what we got going on here, and the sun's really bright today. Either that or I just got up. But here's what we got. We got ourselves a husky, and it's pretty dirty. We're going to have to polish this thing, man, make it look good. We got a husky, quick cut, 42-inch cut, 17.5 horsepower, Briggs & Stratton. And this thing's got one heck of an oil leak. As you can see down inside there, look how nasty that is. That's terrible. We got to clean this up. I can't be letting it look like this. That looks terrible. But we got to check the oil, and I got you all right in that sun. Let's check the oil here. Very, very little on the tip. He said it's got an oil leak. He says that it leaks down around that pipe down there. So we got to get it all cleaned up and try to find out what's going on, why it's leaking. And looks to me like we got bolts missing here on the muffler shield. So we're going to clean this thing up, and look at all that oil on the deck. Yeah, this thing needs to be taken clear apart, but right now I'm just going to try to clean the biggest part of it off with some hot soapy Dawn dishwashing liquid, and we're going to try to, I got it sitting there, and we're going to try to clean this up a little bit and get it running. It's got gas in it, half a tank, but it's probably so old that it probably ain't got no fire left in it. So I'm going to get the charger off of it, and I'm going to clean up the step and clean up a little bit of that grease that's inside there, and wash it a little bit, and we'll see how it goes when we get it cleaned up. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we found out why it was leaking. It had this piece of junk on it that's supposed to seal, but it doesn't. This thing was fitting loose on there. It's supposed to be spring loaded. That thing in there is supposed to spring load against this, and it's not doing it very well, which I think is the stupidest thing I ever seen in my life. And it's got a plastic cap on it, and the plastic cap is busted. I mean, right there is a prime example of why you don't put plastic on an engine. Somebody's tried to stop this from leaking before by putting tape on it. And I'm going to give you my review on that piece of junk right now. Just me saying piece of junk gives you the review. So what I did, I took one off of the other one, the motor that I've been carrying around with me, and took the plug out of it. And that'll work temporary. Eventually I want to put a tube that comes out so it drips down on the ground or in a pan instead of on the frame. I think every motor should have that on a lawnmower, because when you open that to drain the oil, where's it going to go? All over the frame. And if you got it parked in a certain way, it's going to run clear down the frame. So in order to do this, you'd have to have your lawnmower parked in a way where the oil will go down this part, and that's it. But we're going to get this leak fixed. Alright, now that ought to hold the leak. Now I just got to make sure, find me some oil. I'm not going to do a whole lot of cleaning. I'm going to clean that up a little bit right there so it don't get on my feet. But I'm not going to do any more cleaning on it until I know it runs. We may have to take the motor off and find out if it's something wrong with it or something. But for now, I'm just going to clean the grease or the oil off of the step and see if she'll run. And first I got to find some oil, so stay tuned. Well guys, we have a problem. We have nothing. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's probably one of them dumbass safety switches. My cousin said it ran. Yeah, he said it ran the last time he parked it. But I guess I'm going to have to go in there and figure out how to eliminate every one of them safety switches. I think they are the stupidest thing that they ever put on these lawnmowers. And anybody who's too dumb to know how to operate a lawnmower don't need one anyway. So those safety switches are for idiots that don't know how to pay attention to what they're doing. Those are for people who just jump on them and start them and don't care to look what's going on and where their deck's at and if their foot's on the brake. So because of that, I'm going to have to take the deck clear off of it and try to eliminate that safety switch and eliminate the safety switch on the seat, which I don't see where it would even have any bearing on it, because when it's down, it's in the closed or open loop. So that means that if the seat's up, it's grounding the motor out. So the wires are unhooked from it. So that shouldn't even be a bearing on it. Now the other switch back there that goes to the shifter, I'm not understanding how it's supposed to work. The shifter comes nowhere near the safety switch, and they're also missing a plate. Now that might have a bearing on it, I don't know, but there's a plate missing here that keeps that over here like that. But when that goes back, it's supposed to hit this right here, but somebody's put rubber around it. So if this is how it's supposed to ground, then that was causing it not to, rubber. So we're going to do some investigating, and I'm not going to bore you all with tedious video. I swear this grass does not want to get cut. I can't borrow one. One of my family members has got 6 of them and they won't let me borrow one. Yeah, I don't get that, man. So I have to deal with stuff like this. I'm on a time frame because that grass back there is not going to stop growing, and this yard, the front and the fence already has to be mowed. So I guess I'm going to have to push mow it again. But I'm not push mowing that field. So we'll see. Oh, I'm so aggravated, man. I woke up aggravated. And let me tell you why I woke up aggravated. I need to get this off my chest. Yesterday, and I know I got the sun in y'all's eyes. Yesterday, I went on eBay to check some of my tracking numbers, and I had a message from one of the guys who bought one of my air strippers. And bring y'all down here to eye level so you guys can look me straight in the eye while I rant. Sent me a message about the air stripper and said, this thing's wobbling on the barrel, it don't work for mine, it makes it louder. Well, I have discontinued the air stripper. I will not be making any more. I don't have time to deal with petty jackasses like that. You know, I knew the very moment I read his first email what he was trying to go after. He wanted his money back. Well, the pictures are self-explanatory, and my video is self-explanatory. Now, the way I designed those air strippers is so that they do fit loose. And if any idiot was to pay attention to what's going on inside that shroud, you'd see that my design will work and will work fine. But because of assholes like that, I'm not selling them no more. I don't have time for that penny ante shit. Right now I'm trying to move into a new location and I've got my hands full, you know, trying to get the yard mowed, and you know, I don't need people like that on me. So I told him, I said, you know what, I ain't got time for a whiner. If you want your money back, open a case. Don't message me no more. So yeah, he was starting to piss me off. And if I'd had him in front of me, I'd have probably punched him in his frickin' mouth. But he's not, and I can't. So if you're watching this, feller, come see me, mister. Let's have a talk. But anyway, he made a big deal about it, and I just decided last night I'm not selling no more air strippers. You know, it works fine on my gauntlet, and I don't have an ounce of problem out of it. I have all these other people that bought the air stripper, and they don't have a problem with it, and if they do, they haven't told me. So he's the only whiner there is. Alright, so the reason I decided to just stop making them, if they're not there, I can't get a bad review. So he's made threats that he's going to out me with all the air gunners on YouTube. So you know what? I ain't got time for people like you. And I'm not talking to all my subscribers, I'm talking to the person that I guarantee he's watching this video. And I hope he is. So, you know, he's looking at the air stripper while it's out, no pressure on it, and he doesn't understand the concept of why I changed the design of it. I wanted it to fit loose because you don't have a chance of it breaking or cracking. So what it does is slides on. You got your O-ring on it that's supposed to fit pretty snug in the barrel. If it doesn't fit snug in the barrel, your air stripper's not going to work right anyway. So you got two things that holds that air stripper in place and holds it straight. Number one, you got a pretty stiff spring pushing against it, because sometimes I actually have to unscrew the shroud about halfway just to get it to push in far enough for me to get it to the cap to screw in with the spring, because that spring is so stiff. So when you put that air stripper on and then you slide your shroud down, alright, already the shroud is holding it with the O-ring. So when you get the shroud all the way up and screwed all the way in, then you put your spring in, and then you put your suppressor in, or your baffles, and then you put your end cap on it and you screw it in. You got to push it really hard to get it to screw in there, but once you put the spring in there and you shoot it for the first time, that spring will vibrate and push that air stripper straight. It'll cock it straight. It's never going to change after that. Well, this idiot didn't realize that. He's looking at it, taking pictures of it wobbling while it's out. Well, sure it's going to wobble. There ain't nothing to hold it in place, you frickin' moron. Oh, I'm mad. Oh my God, I'm tired. That didn't work out very well. My cousin gave me that mower, and he kind of explained more to my other cousin, his brother, Randall, that somebody had told him it was blowed. The motor was blowed. Well, I had the motor running, and that was the 17.5 motor, and I had it running, and it ran long enough for him to do about 3/4 of a strip up the field, and it was cutting pretty good too, and it wasn't bogging down like we thought it was going to. But all of a sudden it sounded like he hit something, and he didn't. Grass was just as flat there as it was anywhere else. What had happened was the motor is blowed. It just happened to be in the right location, or something inside that motor's loose. So when I went to, he tried to crank it back up, it wouldn't crank back up, it was locked up, the motor was locked up. So I tried to turn it, but I could turn it the opposite way. I could turn it backwards, but I couldn't turn it forwards. And once you got to a certain point, it locked up. So something in there is messed up, and I'm going to check it out and see what's going on with it and maybe try to get it fixed. But I don't have time to waste on this mower. I've got to get a mower. If I don't get a mower, I'm going to be knee deep in frickin' grass. And it rains every single frickin' day. Literally. Every day. Yesterday it rained twice. So then I took what I thought was a 10 horsepower. I hadn't even paid any attention to it. The motor that I had taken off of another mower that I was carrying around, that I was going to put on the Craftsman I restored. Well, when I left there, I left the tractor, took the wheels and tires off of it. I took the battery out of it, and I should have got the seat, but I didn't, simply because that motor was going to cost me $1,200 to fix. So it wasn't worth that. Hell, I could go buy a brand new mower for that. So that wasn't an option. I wasn't even going to consider it. So I brought the 12.5 horsepower just in case I got lucky and it was a good motor. Wrong. I took that motor and put it on there, took the 17.5 off of it, put the 12.5 on it. It ain't no good either. So I had to max out my PayPal credit just to get a used motor for 150 bucks with $75 shipping of 12.5. So it needs a carburetor. He says he said in his post he did run it and it ran fine, but it needed a carburetor cleaning. Well, it just so happens this 17.5 and the 12.5 are the same exact carburetor, just a different intake. You unscrew the intake, put the other intake back on it, you got a good carburetor. So I know this carburetor works because it ran really good going up to the up the field. So the only reason it stopped is because the motor locked up. So I bet you that knocking is right in y'all's ears too. My ceiling fan is freaking wobbling. Look at that wobble. I was just wanting to show you so you knew I wasn't lying. So now I have to wait for a motor to come on eBay. So another week going to go by, I'm not going to be able to mow my grass, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to push mow the inside of the fence. That's all there is to it. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. Oh, I hate push mowers. I despise them. But anyway, I guess that'll end this part of the Husky lawnmower turning into a project. It's definitely turned into a project because I went and got a coil today, for not a coil, but a solenoid, thinking that might have been the problem. And I got the bigger one that mounts a different way, so I'm going to have to relocate the solenoid. So yes, this tractor, this Husky, has turned into a project mower. It's not one of those that I could just jump right into and get it working. You know, I've got a lot going on right now. I've got to restore my bathroom yet, and he's rushing me about that. And I don't know why he's rushing me, but I can't stand for somebody to be on me, rushing me to get something done. I got to do things in my own time. But you know, I do want to get the bathroom done, and it does need to be done. So I'm going to have to start on that this week. I got to go get the materials. So I'm going to try to work it so that I'm going to have to make several trips to Lowe's. I don't want to be without a bathroom. So in order to make my bathroom work for me at the same time that I'm fixing it up, then I'm going to have to do it in pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to get a tub and get it put in there, because he's getting a new tub, new toilet, new vanity, new hot water heaters already here, and new flooring. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the tub first, because I can take a bitch bath, and that won't take me very long to do. Once I got the tub and everything done, then I can start running the floor from there out. Now I'll replace the floor under the tub while I've got the tub out, but that's all I'm going to do is just the tub, because the toilet's right in front of the tub. So I'll just bring the plywood out from the edge of the tub. That way I can just tie into it with the next piece that goes in when I take the toilet out the next time. That way, because the toilet I can do and a floor, I can do that within a couple hours. So that the floor and I don't need the vanity in there, so I can just take it clear out. So replace the tub, the surround, the floor under the tub, then run the next time I go to get on it, I'll have the sink clear out of there. I'll take the toilet out, do the floor, put the toilet back in it, and then do the sink. So it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 day session, or 2 or 3 time session to get it done. So I got a lot here to do. I got to get my grass mowed, and for me right now, that is #1 priority. I've got to get my grass mowed. I'm not going to let that get so far ahead of me that I can't deal with it and I have to pay somebody to bush hog it. I'm not doing that. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to get your magnetic logo or your keychain logo. They're on eBay under Bison Workshop logo or magnetic logo or something like that. I'll put a link in the description for both the keychain and the magnet. I have them on two separate listings. And now I think my lighter's trying to quit on me. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here and get me a bath and finish watching Ice Age and call it a night. It's already 12:56 and I still got to edit a video, so you might see this the next day because I'm pretty tired right now. So anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.